Okay, everyone, good evening. Buenas noches. Buenas tardes. Good evening. How do we say in French? Bonsoir. How do we say in Zimbabwe? Ah. Oh, wow. Anyway, good evening, everyone. Good evening. I am happy to introduce to you Pastor Dexter. We'll talk a little bit about the time that we met. I remember meeting him at camp meeting at Camp Colacqua years ago. He spent 1 year at the Andrews University right after I graduated, finishing his systematic theology over there. And he has been preaching in many churches. He accepted the invitation to preach in our church in March, okay? But right now is a special moment. I want to introduce to you Pastor Dexter. This is the South Orlando family, South Orlando community, and we are having some visitors here. Welcome everyone to this special moment, okay? Let's enjoy. And how many of you remember the Bible verse that he mentions? The first time he was here, announced this special night, and this morning on the video, he mentioned a special Bible verse. Do you remember? It's from Proverbs. From Proverbs. A good laughter is or a joyful heart is a good medicine, okay? Do you need that medicine tonight?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
I'm going to introduce Pastor Dexter. Okay, please, Pastor, this is your group, okay?
Thank you.
A lot of people here for you.
Thank you.
Okay, you
I have a mic.
You have the
Thank
mic.
you. Good evening, everybody. The pastor said a lot of people are here. You know, as a blind person, I never get nervous with big crowds. Never. Because guess why? I just don't see them, you know. I used to be a calypsonian when I was a teenager, and there were 20,000 people in the audience. I was never nervous. Just wasn't nervous. And I felt so proud of myself. I was first runner-up in the entire competition. First runner-up. But what I don't like telling people, there were only 2 of us in the competition. I don't like telling people that. So look. The back seat is not for the attractive. You guys in the back, come on down, please. Come on down. We're giving you 30 seconds. Come on down really quickly. Come a little closer so I can see you.
Surprising for the back seat.
Come on down. Come on down. Come on down. Fill up the pews so we can look full. All right. Good. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm born legally blind. And I was sharing this morning, I went to a business place, right? And I said to the lady, hey, I'm blind, you need to guide me. She's like, where's your cane? Kind of got an attitude, right? I'm like, don't you read the Bible? She's like, what does the Bible have to do with your cane? I'm like, Cain killed Abel. Cain is dangerous, you know? And you all know what's my all-time favorite Bible verse? It's amazing how the Bible actually describes my entire life. One verse describes my entire life. You know what verse is that? We walk by faith, not by sight. That's my verse. That's my favorite verse in all the scripture. Now, what's interesting? I think I have really taken joy out of my blindness. And you got to do that in life. Can't take yourself all seriously. Or else, you'll get depressed, right? So I've gotten a lot of joy. There's been a lot of blessings. That is not Jesus on the main line. Trust me. Trust me. Yeah, a lot of joy. Like one time, I went whale watching. Now, I don't know why I did that. My wife just pulled me into it. And the guy, the tour boat operator, he says, if you don't see the whale, you're going to get half of your money back. I'm like, yeah, that's me. That's me, brother. In fact, you shouldn't be charging me, you know what I mean? Yeah, and being married is such an amazing, wonderful experience. But you know what? My wife and I celebrated our 24th anniversary recently. Isn't that wonderful? Our 24th month anniversary. So we're pretty experienced couple. But my wife, so she knows that I am blind, but it hasn't fully registered. People say things to me like, you don't talk blind. Oh, how does blind talk, you know? It's strange. You know, here why I know it doesn't register. And I had a sense it didn't register, but it really hit me when one night, 3 o'clock in the morning, night or morning, you see how the Romans confused us with this time thing? 3 o'clock in the morning, one night. My wife wakes me up, Dexter. I got up, I'm like, what? She's like, I hear something outside. I'm like, so what? She's like, go see. Really? You want me to stick my head outside and say, I'm blind, I can see you? What do you do with that, you know? It's crazy. Orlando is a special place for us. We actually met here in Orlando. My wife was going on a cruise, and I was taking one of her friends out for dinner and breakfast, just a treat I hadn't seen in a long time, and she said, hey, could my friend come along? And she did. And let me tell you all something. When we met, it was love at first sight. But from my wife's perspective. You all got that? Yeah, so it's really a joy. I am from the island of Trinidad, and people, when I travel, they hear my accent, and they're like, you know where they say I'm from, right? Yes! They say you're from Jamaica, man. Well, Jamaicans don't speak like that. I say, no, I'm from Trinidad. And then they be like, oh, what part of Jamaica is that? Well, it's the northern part of Jamaica. For your information, that's where Trinidad is. But so we grew up kind of poor, and a lot of us in one house, you know. So when I went to college, I went to Oakwood University. I lived in a little trailer, and man, it was bad. It was just tough as an international student. I mean, I was owing the school $8,800. I checked my bank account, $8.80. I'm like, that's not funny. You know, I mean, those days I would squeeze my pockets and they would burp. You know what I mean? Bad days as a student. One guy came and he looked at my little trailer. He's like, wow, for a blind guy and a bachelor, you keep this place clean. There are no rodents, nothing. I'm like, no, nothing to do with cleanliness, you know. And I told him what happened. One time a rat was like walking by my trailer, and when he got to my door, he's like, waste of time. No food in that joint. Waste of time. Keep the party moving, you know. Yeah. It was just tough. And my nephew came to crash with me one time, and I gave him a little part of the trailer, and man, dude was just nasty. Didn't learn to be clean, you know. And one time I went in the corner of where he stayed. I saw 3 rats. They had their suitcases. They're like, we are sick of this now. We are sick of this. We are moving out. I'm like, yep. So that's why my place has been clean all those years. No, I love music. How about you guys? Yeah. What's amazing for me with music is God has given me a song for every challenge I have faced. Just a song, just a real timely song. Do you have songs like that just speak to you in the moment? You guys have songs? I don't like how y'all are looking at me. Don't look at me like that. Y'all have songs like that? Yeah, like one time, I used to live in Michigan when I was at Andrews University, and let me tell you something. From the time I experienced that winter, I'm like, no, God hasn't called me here. I can tell. This is not the voice of Jesus. So when I was looking for graduate work, I was trying to do a doctorate. I didn't even check out how good the school was. I just wanted warm weather. That's how I ended up in California. So when I landed in California, and Michigan confused my theology. You know, in the summer in Florida, we're like, this place is hot like what? Hot like hell. But in Michigan, we're like, it's cold like hell. You're like, make up your mind, hot or cold, you know. So I hopped on the plane. We got to Oakland, California. From the time I landed, I started singing, there is sunshine in my soul today. most glorious and bright. Just a song, an appropriate song, you know. I was walking by one of the campus buildings, and I slipped and I fell. I had a song for that too. We fall down, but we get up. For the saint is just a sinner who fell down, but got up. Always a song. But not all songs are appropriate. All songs might be wonderful, but not all might be appropriate. I used to do prison ministry for a number of years. And so we brought a young lady in to sing for us. Now, prison ministry was amazing because the guys, when they got out, sometimes they saw me in the city, they're like, hey, remember me from prison? And people look at me like, what? What? No, I went to preach, I went to preach in prison. So it's a juvenile detention center. These little guys, they sat on pews like you guys, well, benches, and their feet weren't even reaching the floor. And this little guy got up and he testified how he shot after the cops, he robbed and he broke into places, he kidnapped people, just awful, awful crimes. And as soon as he was finished testifying, my lady who was supposed to sing, she's sitting in her seat and she's crying. So as soon as he was through testifying how he robbed people and he kidnapped and he broke and entered, she got up and she started singing her song, He'll do it again, He'll do it again. You may not know how, you may not know when, but clutch your purses, grab your wallet, He'll do it again. No, that's a wonderful song. But just a terrible occasion. You're following me? Just a terrible occasion. So you got to pick your songs properly. Got to pick your song properly. No, one of the things I like about churches like South Orlando is your pastor is a Bible scholar. I just know that. And he encourages all of you to know the Bible for yourself. Ain't that the truth? Amen. Make your pastor look good, man. Come on, y'all. Yes. Know it for yourself. Don't be like, because when you don't know it for yourself, you end up looking kind of silly. It's like there was these two guys in the military. One was really smart and one was, what do you call not so smart? What do you call that? Yeah, he was a dunce. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for teaching me how to speak lovely words in church. Thank you. I appreciate that. Look at your members, Pastor. Just look at them so you know who is who. Yep. Yeah, he was a dunce. So they were trying to get a promotion, right? So the smart guy said to the dunce, he said, listen, man, make life simple. When I go for the interview, you just stick your ear by the door, and whatever you hear me say, you just repeat those answers, easy like Sunday morning. So the smart guy went for the interview. The interviewing officer said, so how long have you been in the military? He said, 5 years, sir. He said, well, how old are you? He said, I'm 27, sir. He said, no, what? Do you want to be a general or you want to be a corporal? He said, well, actually, both of them, sir. Boom. Easy. So the dunce, he goes to the interview, right? Because he took down all the answers, he memorized them, So the interviewing officer said, how long have you been in the military? He said, 27 years, sir. He said, well, how old are you? He said, 5 years, sir. He said, do you think I'm a fool or an idiot? He said, both of them, sir. Both of them. Both of them, sir. Both of them. You have to know for yourself, or else you'll be a dunce. According to that man there. According to that man. Don't quote me on that. That man right there. Right? Now, you guys are funny. Yeah, both of them. Now, you all learned a little bit about me. Your turn to share. I want to know a little bit about you. So, what countries do we have represented tonight? I'm Trini, I told you. What are the countries we have here represented tonight? St. Kitts, that's an amazing. You from St. Kitts? Yeah. Or your parents? Your parents. My wife. Yeah, St. Kitts, I love that country. It's one of the largest countries in the Caribbean. I'm joking. I'm joking. I went to St. Kitts. I'm like, well, give me a tour of the island. They're like, just look around. You know what I mean? Stand right where you are and just make a circle, you know? That's it. And I don't even see. They're like, just still, look around. It's that big, you know? Yep, that's St. Kitts. Wonderful place. St. Kitts and Nevis. Any other countries? St. Lucia. Really? Sakafet. Sakafet? Lady, you're not from St. Lucia, you lie. In the house of God. Stop it. But you know, St. Lucia is one of my favorite countries. I used to go there every year. Every year. What part of St. Lucia are you from? Miku, you're from the country. That's a beautiful city. Beautiful village. I used to go to St. Lucia every year, and I love St. Lucian women. Love, love, love. They're beautiful, they're spicy. I used to date a St. Lucian girl, and they speak patois, which is like broken French, and it's so romantic. It gave me goosebumps when they speak to me. And anything they said in that broken French was just, oh my goodness. This girl used to call me Macaque and Kuyo. And I felt so good about it. I would tell people I'm a beautiful macaque. And I am lovely and kuyo. Until I found out macaque is monkey. And kuyo means foolish. I went about telling people I was a beautiful monkey. That explained my behavior, right? And I'm lovely and foolish. After that, I'm like, only English-speaking woman. No. Nope, I'm not taking any more chances. Any other country? St. Kitts, St. Lucia? Jamaica. You from Jamaica? Yes. Anybody else here from Jamaica? Oh, they're always taking over, man. Another country, please. Guyana. Another country. All right, Jamaica, Jamaica. You from Guyana? Uh-huh. Wow, where's Guyana?
It's South America.
Okay, I was testing you. Testing. Because Guyana is the only English-speaking country in South America, and they're generally confused. They don't know if they're from the Caribbean or South America. Make up all your mind. You know, beautiful, beautiful place. It's full of, and you know, they just discovered oil in Guyana, right? Exxon is drilling there. Place full of money now. Loads of money in Guyana. And what's interesting, I was in Guyana one time, right? You know Kaitro Falls?
Oh, yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Your Guyanese for true then. You weren't just playing one on TV. You really won. Okay, good. Yeah, so I'm in Guyana, right? And I went to one of the courts. Now, Guyana court is the best court system in the world. They have a lot of agriculture and stuff like that, right? And one older lady, she stole some peaches. Not peaches, they have peach in Guyana. Give me a fruit in Guyana, please.
Mango.
Mangoes, yeah, she stole some mangoes, and she went to court, and the judge said, you know, lady, you're older, and I don't want to, you know, be too punitive. How many mangoes did you steal? How many mangoes? She said, officer, Your Honor, I only stole 6 mangoes. He said, you know what? You're going to spend 6 days behind bars. A day for each mango you stole. An old man jumped up. He said, Your Honor, my wife stole a bag of rice. And it was a big bag. She had 15 years, 6 months, and 8 days behind bars. Yeah, Guyana produces rice, right? Yeah. All right, good. Guyana, St. Kitts, Jamaica, Nevis. What other country?
Zimbabwe.
Huh? Zimbabwe. That's part of Jamaica too? She doesn't even know. You're just making up countries, lady. Don't do that. Zimbabwe. You ever been to Victoria Falls?
Yes.
What an amazing place. That's right next to South Africa. And let me tell you, I love Zimbabwe so much. You know, I told you all about my wife, right? Did I tell you about my wife? Don't tell my wife I didn't tell you all about her. You know, but I was courting, and my woman friends are always up in my business, trying to taste my Kool-Aid, don't even have spoon, just nosy. You know? And one of them, she called me. She said, Dex, I hear you're dating. I'm like, yep, I met a really fine woman from Canada. She's like, well, I want to see her. I'm like, I want to see her too. Not just you. So she goes on Facebook and she, you know, types in her name, goes on my page, Elizabeth Goddard. She's like, but Dex, she is white. I'm like, you lie. I didn't even know that, you know. How am I supposed to know? I'm colorblind, you know. But I warned my wife. I said, Liz, that African blood is real strong in me. I am from the Yoruba tribe. Strong. So when we have kids, I'm just warning you, them kids are going to come out so dark. People are going to think you adopted them. You know what I mean? I'm warning you. They think you're babysitting for somebody. In fact, I name my kids in advance. My boys, my first boy is going to be Shaka Zulu. The second boy, his name is Mandingo. The third boy is Kunta Kinte. That's it. I got it covered. Love your country, Zimbabwe. Thank you, ma'am. Any other country? England. What part of England? Leicester. Oh, you're far from London. Your country is so amazing to me. I go there almost every year to preach. I love England. Love London especially. I went on the London Eye. You know, it takes you like hundreds of feet up in the air. That did nothing for me. I didn't see a thing. Did nothing. They said, they promised me, you will see all of London. They promised the wrong person. You know what I mean? Why you promised me that? But as much as I love England, I have a problem. You know what's their favorite dish? Their like main dish? Fish and chips. I'm like, I'm gonna try this thing. I was so excited. I'm like, I want to go. I went down to one of those wharfs in London. I'm like, I want fish and chips. Don't give me nothing else. You know, I want British, you know, official English favorite dish. I was so excited. I paid the lady my £7, but there was a problem. Do you know how they serve the fish and chips? What they serve it on? Newspaper. You must be kidding. This woman is handing me my fish and chips on newspaper. Now, the problem with that is, growing up, we were really poor and we didn't have toilet paper. So we used newspapers. I see this lady serving my food on toilet paper. Keep it. No, ma'am. No. In fact, you keep the £7. I'm good. Can't do that. She said, what's the problem? Oh, don't want to explain. Nope, too personal. You just keep the money. Keep the money, keep the food. But I love England. Any other country? Where? Spain. You're from Spain?
Yes, sir.
Like, I'm from Port of Spain. Same place? Oh, Port of Spain is...
West of Madrid.
Oh my... Wow! Awesome country. I love Valencia the most.
Yes,
because
my mother was born.
You have a good mother, trust me. Because it's warm and it's right on the tip of North Africa. You know, even I could see Morocco from there. That's how amazing it is. You know, but one of the things I like about Europe, you know, one guy was on a scaffolding, and he was finishing a job, and a guy from Spain was walking by, and the guy looked up to him. He said, "Hey, are you finished?" He said, "No, I'm not finished. I'm Dutch." Get it? Finish? Finland? Ah, y'all slow. Yeah, y'all slow. Y'all missed that. Love Spain. Any other country? This church, y'all have a lot of nationality. You're from the Philippines. ¿Cómo está acá? Wala anaman. Wonderful country. But I don't mean to break your heart, lady. Philippines is cool. It's nice. You know, we love Manila because of Pacquiao. But my favorite Asian country is Japan. I just want you to know that. You know why I love Japan? Because when I went to Japan, is the first time in my life, the first place I've ever been where I felt like a real man for the first time. A real man. You know why? Everybody was shorter than me. Everybody. I'm like, this is my kind of country. I am a man in this joint. Y'all hear me? Felt so. Love Japan. Philippines, cool. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Any other country? Puerto Rico. That's still America. You know that, right? Don't look at me like that, please. That lady was giving me the evil eye. How did... My goodness. Pastor, you have some rude members. Puerto Rico. My Spanish members used to Spanish-speaking members used to want to choke me. I was teaching them Spanish. I'm like, ¿entiendes, Mendes? They're like, shut your mouth. That's what that means, you know. But, talk about America. I'm like, what's American food? Anybody knows? English muffins, French fries, you know what I mean? I mean, find our own food, right? Yeah, love Puerto Rico. Any other country? No. Bermuda is right in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle. You all know that? No, that's not true. Love Bermuda, love Bermuda shorts. My sister lives in Bermuda. Bermudan people are really funny though, man. I remember you know Mr. Barnes or Barnett, the guy that used to wave? You're not from Bermuda, man. Why are you just making up countries? He just pulled that from thin air. He's like, you know what? I had a grandfather from Bermuda. I'm Bermudan. It don't work like that, brother. Don't work like that. But anyhow, one guy from Bermuda, he was telling me about his marriage. And it is what he shared with me, so I'll ask you guys. Now, your wife's father, that's your what? You guys kind of slow. No, you guys slow. I don't know if you know that. I don't mean to. You remember the guy we talked about who was the dunce? I think you're related. I could tell. In fact, you remind me of the guy. He missed the 44 bus. You know what he did? He took the 22 bus twice. Ain't that crazy? He's like, I gotta make up, Yeah, don't be like that. Your wife's father is called. Hello. Your wife's brother? Your wife's mother? Your wife's sister? And your wife? Law. Wife is just the law. That's what this Bermudan guy told me. My wife is the law. He said one time he came home and he said to his wife, honey, I am the boss of this house. She's like, of course you are. You're the boss of this house when I'm not there. Those Bermudan women are no joke, Any other country? No, my favorite country. Brazil. One of my favorite places is Bahia. Pastor, you know Bahia?
Bahia, yes.
Bahia. Brazil have these big carnivals. Don't go to any of them, y'all. Not recommended. And in Brazil, how many parts of the Trinity we know? How many parts of the Trinity we know? Well, Trinity means three. Duh. Woo. In Brazil, there is 4. God the Father, God the Son, God the Spirit, and God football. Which America calls soccer. Beautiful, amazing country. Beautiful, 150 million people. Any other country. But my favorite country, well, I have to claim Trinidad first and then Canada because my wife is Canadian, But Canada, man, my wife used to date this guy in Canada. He worked for a ski shop. I'm like, well, baby, what happened? She's like, he got cold feet. One time I was in Canada, right? It was the winter. I don't know why I went there in the winter. Love would make you do all kind of crazy things. Canada in the winter. I'm from Florida, for crying out loud. And the preacher, he was preaching about hell. And he was talking about how hot it is, and the people were like, we want to go. We want to go. I'm like, nope, don't preach hell in Canada in the winter, brother. Nope, you make it desirable. Don't do that. But one of my favorite countries. Anybody want to guess? Not Trinidad, not Canada. Anybody want to guess? My favorite? Jamaica! Jamaica! And I said that because most of you is Jamaicans. That's why I said that. That's why. If most of you was from Zimbabwe, it would be Zimbabwe. I'm just telling you right now. I'm a hypocrite. Yep. Jamaica. Favorite country. I was in Jamaica a few years ago. And I was preaching at the Northern Caribbean University. Amazing, amazing. It's the largest Adventist university, English-speaking Adventist university in terms of population in the world. At that time, had 5,000 students. Amazing, largest, and that's 12 years ago. So they really gave me the royal treatment, man, the VIP. And I said, no, I want to experience the real Jamaica. So I ran off with some students, and we hopped in a taxi, which they call a car. And, the four of us in the taxi, we're rolling along. 3 minutes, the driver stopped. Small up yourself. That means scoot over, make room. Small up yourself. Listen, 10 of us in the car. He stops again. Small up yourself. Small up yourself. Listen, man, there's 2 guys in the front seat, 4 women on their laps, 8 children on the 4 women. He's still stopping. Small up yourself. Small. I'm sitting in the back seat with 5 people on me. I start shouting, you think it's a bus? Next time I'm going to ride in the trunk, brother. Yeah, Jamaica is amazing. Jamaica is amazing. I love Jamaica. Love Jamaica, love Jamaica, love Jamaica. Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about marriage. I have learned that one of the things that make marriage successful is good communication. Anybody agree with me? Yeah, people struggle with communication all the time. It's like the police pulled over a woman one time. Now, is it true that that on your driver's license there's a little line that says that you need glasses or not? Is that true? I don't know, because I don't have a license, right? So this lady, she needed glasses. So the police, he's looking at her license. Lady, where are your glasses? She's like, well, officer, I have my contacts, He's like, I don't care who you know. Where are your glasses? Communication, man. And so the thing I've learned about communication, in not just marriage, but in church, in business, in life, is not what you say, but is what? Yeah, y'all learned the same thing like I did. It's how you say it, right? So this one guy got a little job as a messenger in the military. He was in the army, and one of the generals, General Tommy, his mom died. So sad. And they sent this new messenger guy, go to the dining room and you tell General Tommy that his mother died. Goes to the dining room. He takes the mic. All right, everybody be silent. General Tommy, your mother, she died. Oh my goodness. The guy almost got a heart attack. My goodness. They were so angry with this guy. They're like, man, come on, you're too rough, man. You're too uncouth. You need to be more gentle, because it's not what you say, but it's what? Yes! He wasn't at this church to hear that lesson, So they're like, look, man. They were threatening to fire you, but, we're going to give you another opportunity. 2 weeks later, General Fred, his mother passed away. They're like, listen, this is death. This is sensitive. One more opportunity. You go to the dining room and you tell General Fred that his mom died. Be gentle. Goes to the dining room, picks up the mic. He said, everyone in this room that has a mother, please stand up. General Fred, no, you sit down. General Fred, sit down, please. You sit down. You sit down. You sit down. Yeah, he was able to keep his job. Yeah, so it's really important. I was staying one time here in South Orlando. And there was a knock on the door where I was staying. And I, with my nosy self, I really should not be opening people's doors. I went and I opened the door, and I was kind of startled. A big old police guy standing in front of me. And he looks at me in this, intimidating way. He said, young man, where were you between 4 and 5? I kind of got nervous. Young man, I'm speaking with you. Where were you between 4 and 5? I said, officer, I was in kindergarten. Don't intimidate me, Mr. Police. You don't mess with me, Mr. Police. That's where I was, All right, so I just have to tell you guys, when they used to, back in the day, they used to hang people. What do you call that? Is that capital or corporal punishment? It's capital? You sure? Yeah, capital. And aren't you glad you're in a place like America where they don't do that? But man, in the islands, they still did that. When I was living there, they still did that. They would, yeah, you messed up, man. They would pop your neck. And but you know, our prison ministry team, I like that prison ministry team. They went in, and what's so beautiful is some of the guys on death row, they got them to choose songs before they died. It's so beautiful. You know, so these three guys, they were going to hang them. And the first guy, he said, you know, before I die, I want Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. So they played the music, swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me. Boop! They popped his neck. Next guy, he said, I want when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Boop! They popped his neck. Now, I know popping neck don't sound like that, but this is my story. And my story could sound however I wanted to sound. Thank you. Stay out of my business. Thank you. The third guy was pretty interesting. They said, well, what do you want? What do you want? You have a hymn? What do you want? He said, you know what song I want before I die? I want a billion green bottles standing on a wall. A billion green bottles standing on a wall. If one green bottle should accidentally fall, there'll be 9,900,000,999 green bottles standing on a wall. He died 3 years, 8 months later. That was a brilliant guy, a brilliant guy. Now, one of the things I've struggled with is my weight. Yeah, I struggle with my weight. Especially when I just got married. Man, I never knew married food was different to my food. I put on all kind of weight, oh my goodness. And to be my height and heavy doesn't look good. Yeah, I mean, even I could see that, you know? Doesn't look good. And so it was so bad. You know, a lot of my stuff in my house talk because I don't see my microwave talk, my clock talk. But there is something in my house that talks that I despise. Anybody want to guess what that is? Huh? Not a bird, not my wife. This lady is dangerous. Not my wife. My scale! That scale, man. That scale has evil in it. Man, let me tell you, one time I stood on that scale, technology would blow your mind. The scale said, 1 person at a time, please. I threw it away. I'm like, that's of the devil. Yeah, couldn't do that talking scale. Yeah, and one time I went jogging, right? I'm so excited, I want to lose weight. Went jogging and my buddy saw me. He's like, wow, Dex, your belly. I'm like, yeah, what? He said it's going down. I'm like, really? He said it's going down to your knees. I'm like, yeah, thank you. And I realized, you know, my favorite supermarket, favorite grocery store. Anybody want to guess what that is? In fact, I moved to Florida because I saw they had it. Not Walmart, lady. No, not Winn-Dixie. Not Aldi's, no. My favorite. Dollar Tree. You are so embarrassing. No, nobody want to guess? I think they have it in Orlando. It's amazing. The best supermarket ever to be created by human beings. No, not Caribbean Superstore, no, the best ever. It's Costco. Costco is the best. You know why Costco is the best? Free sample. Free sample. Let me tell you something. They had this trail mix, man. I went for a free sample 5 times. By the 5th time, the lady was like, excuse me, sir. The purpose of the sample is so you can buy the product. I'm like, really? Nobody told me that. How am I supposed to know that, you know? I was giving her an attitude. And one time, it's so crazy that you end up getting a sense of entitlement where you start to get free stuff, right? One time I went to this guy who was sampling an energy drink. And he gave it to me in this little cup. I looked at him and like, you think it's communion? I mean, what's that? I almost heard the pastor saying, drink ye all of it, you know? And man, what do you do? This little thing, you know? One time I went to Costco and there were like 1 or 2 samples. I went to the manager. I'm like, what's happening? Are you going to close the store or something? Don't mess with my free samples. And I would be scandalous. I would go to Costco in my suit, pushing an empty cart. I don't want to buy nothing, just so I could sample. Costco made me scandalous, you know. But yeah, so I said, nope, I'm going to be healthy. I stopped eating sugar, stopped eating flour, lost 40 pounds in 16 months. How about that? The lowest I've been since I was young. Sorry, since I was younger. Yeah, not young, younger. But yeah, so I wanted to share some more about marriage. Marriage. What I have learned in marriage is that, I don't know if you guys know this, in marriage, there's no boss. You all know that?
Yeah.
No, there's no boss. People think they're boss, they're silly. But one of the things I enjoy about my marriage, I enjoy my wife and I being a, what do you call us? White and black couple. What do you call us again? Mixed interracial. I love that. I love that. I used to live in Plantation, Florida. You all know Plantation? Yes. Yeah, live in Plantation. And one time I went preaching in Alabama, driving past Confederate flags, all white audience. And I got up to introduce myself. I say, I'm Dexter Thomas. I'm from Plantation, Florida. And right there, it hit me. Black people shouldn't be living in a place called Plantation. No, after 400 years, after all we would have been through, Plantation. I moved out of the city. I'm like, oh, I'm done with Plantation. And I made matters worse. When I'd go preach in a black church, I'm like, hey, I live in a city called Plantation, and my white wife works me like a slave. Like a slave. I just made things worse. Yeah. So we got pregnant. And it's kind of nice to say we, but it's not really we. You all know that, right? We got pregnant, and I was just excited. And we were in British Columbia. I was doing their camp meeting, one of the presenters for the camp meeting. And walking around camp meeting, and Canadians are so polite. You know, they're politically correct, and they don't want to be rude or pushy. Just nice people. And so some of them came up to us, and they're like, wow, you're expecting? I'm like, yep. We're expecting the second coming of Jesus. That's it. That's it. And then some of them were a little more brazen and bold. They're like, wow, I see you have a bun in the oven. I said, yes, but it's not white bread. It's whole wheat bread, you know. Whole wheat. And being a blind parent is fun. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I see, you know, I hear people say, oh, you're going to sleep like a baby. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'll be getting up every 2 hours. I don't want that. I don't know who came up with that. A silly person came up with that terminology. I want the baby to sleep like a baby. That's what I want. Yeah, but I realize that babies make hypocrites out of us. Hypocrites. I mean, my little daughter, she's 5 months. How precious. But she's already own way, doing her own thing. She's at the dinner table and she's blowing gas. We have guests. She's blowing gas. I am embarrassed. They're going to say we're not training the child, you know what I mean? And then the people down, they looked over to her when they heard the sound, and they're like, so cute! So cute. I'm like, what if I did that? You know what I mean? Babies make hypocrites out of us. You won't tell me cute, you know? Hello. But really interesting, being a blind parent for the first time. I was at the breakfast table eating my cereal and really enjoying it. And then my wife comes to me in a huff and a puff. You know? She's like, Dexter, what did you do with it? I'm like, Liz, what, sweetheart, what are you talking about? She's like, where is the glass of breast milk I left in the fridge? I'm like, that was breast milk? No, that was breast milk? Liz, that thing was good. I mean, think almond and chocolate, you know what I mean? That was good. In fact, man, that was so good to me. Man, I would take my bowl of cereal every morning and go to bed and say, milk time, baby, milk time. Yep, all week, milk time, baby. And I would be saying to Nestle, eat your heart out. It's healthy, it's tasty, and it's free. You know, we usually buy those 3 cartons of milk from Costco, you know, and cost $6.95, $5.95. Between October and now, We've saved $18 in milk. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. But yeah, being a parent is such an interesting thing. But I've learned that in marriage there is no boss. Like the one guy, he went on the block and was talking to his boys. And his boys were saying, man, you don't let your woman talk to you any old way. You put your foot down. You tell her what to do. That's how a man operates. So he goes home. His wife is just sitting there doing her thing at peace. So he looks in the kitchen and he sees dishes piled up. He said, woman, see those dishes? Guess who's going to wash them? And then he looked at some clothes that was on the bed. He said, see that bed and those clothes? Guess who's going to fold them? And he looked at himself. He was perspiring. He said, you know what? I need a shower. And guess who is going to bathe me? And he said, after I bathe, guess who is going to dry me off and dress me? She looked up to him finally. She's like, the Undertaker? He's like, Joker, you're going to be dead. That's why he backed all the way off immediately, you know. I learned a long time ago that when a man gets married, it's an educational experience. When a man gets married, he gives up his bachelor's and he gets his master's. Yeah, that's educational. One guy went into a bookstore and he's like, where can I find a book? He's talking to the receptionist. Where can I find a book? Husband's Master of the House. The receptionist said, you can find it in fiction and comedy. Fiction and comedy, Joker. That's where you're going to find that. Nowhere else, you know. That's funny. People used to pick on me for being short. I never picked on myself, but people would just pick on me. And, you know, it's like one time a short guy, like a midget, ran up to the police. And he's like, officer, someone picked my pocket. The police looked at the guy. He's like, he's like, officer, what's funny? Someone picked my pocket, my back pocket. They picked me. He looked down. He's like, officer, what is so funny? The police finally spoke. I don't believe people would stoop that low. You don't believe people would stoop that low? Yeah. So I'm like, don't pick on me anymore. Yeah, but it's one of the things I love about marriage, like I said, is that you get to allow God to be the boss and not yourself. Because think about the things you were the boss of and how well that went. You know, so it's amazing when you allow God to be center and not you, because you're going to just jack things up and you're going to mess things up. But I'm so grateful, man. My single life was a disaster. So happy to be married. I dated this girl. After the third date, she's like, you know, Dex, I think you're a great guy. She said, but every time we go on a date, it's a blind date. We broke up because we couldn't see eye to eye anymore. That was it. No, that was it. We just couldn't make it. And what was so funny is one time I was taking this girl out, and my buddy was driving, and we were there sitting, and we were passing by KFC. Anybody know what's KFC? No. KFC is killing foolish Christians. That's what KFC is. Do you realize that a chicken is the only creature on the planet that never dies from natural causes? Never. We're passing KFC, right? And we, as soon as we start passing KFC, she started sneezing. She's like, hot chicken! What is wrong with this woman? So I'm like, touch my guy on the shoulder. I'm like, man, pedal to the metal, brother. Pedal to the metal. Keep driving. So when we got to the next KFC, she's like, I want to come out. I want to use the restroom. And you need to come with me. I'm walking with her, and we're going by the counter. She started to sneeze again. Hot chicken! And I started to burp. Broke. She dumped me. Yeah, so I was very grateful. Let me tell you the truth. I was grateful to be married. You know, how many kids do we have here that's 8 and under? You have any kids 8 and under? Yeah, you don't know your age. How old are you? 9. You're 9? What's your name?
Joshua.
Joshua. Yeah, that's like a great Bible name. So Joshua, I have a funny story for you, Joshua. Just for you. Always like to share this one with the kids in the house. Gotta have something for the kids, right? There's this little boy, Joshua. I think he was 9 like you. No, he was 4. No, he was 4. Really smart kid. So they were asking him some difficult question. They're like, okay, little boy, how many days of the week begin with the letter T? How many you guys get? Yeah, what days are that? Tuesday and Thursday. He's like, there are 4 days. They're like, what? Tuesday, Thursday, today, and tomorrow. He got 4 days. Then they said to him, well, how many seconds are there? Anybody has an answer? Yeah, but seconds in what? 60, in a minute, in an hour? He's like, there are 12 seconds. Like, what? How you got 12 seconds? 2nd of January, 2nd of February, 2nd of March, 2nd of April, Smart kid, really smart kid. Then they said, we're going to ask him a big one. Big one they asked him now, Joshua. They said, how many D's are in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Can anybody guess how many D's in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Yeah? Wild guess? Anybody? Wild guess? 3, 6, 4, 5, something like that. This kid thought about it for like 10 minutes. Then he's like, there are 168 D's in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Like, what? How do you get 168 D's? He like, D D D D D D D D D D D D D D. That's 95. D D D D D D D D D D D. 168 D's in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Yeah, he got 168 D's in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Brilliant kid, eh? Isn't that a brilliant kid? Yeah, brilliant kid. Give us a time check. What's the time right now? 8:15. Good. 15 minutes to go. You guys having fun?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I love it. One of the reasons I love laughter is because laughter, like the Bible says, it's good medicine. And you all heard me say this already, but if you're laughing for nothing, you do need medicine, right? You can't just laugh for nothing. But it's so therapeutic. And why I love doing these things, people came up to me and they're like, Dr. Dex, man, I suffer from depression. And you standing there telling funny stories about yourself, about life, it just cracked me up. And it brought so much healing to my life. I'm encouraged with stuff like that. Because life is already so hard, man. The best we can do is learn to laugh at ourselves and just laugh ourselves to life. That's what you want to do. That's the kind of thing you want to do to bring healing and hope to your own broken emotions. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
You agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the joy of laughter. So as I wrap up, I want to share a few more funny stories with you guys. I'm not going to tell you anything else about marriage. Like the time I told my wife, baby, I run things around here. She's like, of course you do, Dexter. You run the dryer, you run the dishwasher, you run the vacuum cleaner, and you run your mouth. But thank you for the encouragement. I'm not going to tell you any more stories about that. I'm not going to tell you any more stories about communication either. Like one time I went to the barber and he was lifting this bottle and he was just dancing, shaking, lifting this bottle, dancing, shaking. Man, why are you doing that? He said, well, you see on the bottle it says shake well before using. Hey, yeah, he was slow too. Yeah, so no more stories like that. But I'll tell you an experience that blessed me. About 20 or so years ago, I was crossing a major freeway in the island of Trinidad, and I got struck by a car. A car knocked me down. In Trinidad, they would say a car bunks me down. In Jamaica, they would say a car licked me down. Right? And let me tell you, man, I went unconscious immediately. And I remember being in the ambulance, right? And and my best buddy was with me. I gained consciousness finally, and I'm in pain. I looked at him and said, Mike, what in the world happened? He's like, Dex, you got knocked down by a car, and you got a broken arm and a broken leg. And I looked at him and said, Mike, why am I in so much pain? He's like, you got a broken arm and a broken leg. And let me tell you something. In that very moment, hear me out, I had a decision to make. I had a what? Yeah, no, we don't realize this. We don't realize this. But anytime you encounter tragedy and hardship and difficulty, you have a decision to make about how you're going to respond. You know, responsibility is the ability to actually choose your response. I had a decision to make whether I'm going to get bitter or I'm going to get better. That's my decision. Am I going to say, God, why me? We love to say, why me? I mean, who do you want it to be? Your cousin? You know what I mean? Your stepmother? I mean, who do you want it to be, you know? Pick somebody else then, you know? Why me? You know, I could have done that, you know, and grow up and say, well, man, God, I'm born blind, a broken arm and a broken leg. I mean, come on, what's up with that? But let me tell you something. I made a decision. I had been traveling the country, telling people where there's a will, there's a way. Telling people no matter how hard it is or how bad it gets, they can make it. And finally I said to myself, Dex, you got to live what you preach. Yeah, you got to practice your profession. And I said to myself, you know what? People are going to come to that hospital room and they're going to see me rejoicing. They're going to see me celebrating the goodness of God. I say I'm going to be like Job when he thought God was the reason for his ruin and the cause for his calamity. He still said the Lord gives and the Lord takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Amazing. I want that response. So I decided, I say, you know what, I'm going to dig down and I'm going to do some humor. When people come visit me, they're going to be smiling. So my first visitor, my sister comes with my mom, and my sister sees me and she starts crying. I'm like, oh, goodness. I was trying to be encouraged and encourage myself. She's crying, so I'm starting to feel sad. Then wait, stop it. It's Susie. Susie would cry for everything. No, for real. One time she cried in a job interview. They just gave her the job. While on the job, she kept crying. They fired her. She's cried for everything. One time, y'all think this is a joke. One time, Susie was crying so much, she ran out of tears crying. That didn't stop her. She went over to the neighbor, borrowed tears to finish crying. It was bad. Susie would cry. So when I realized that Susie, I'm like, yo, listen, stop it. Let me tell you what happened. Today, I went to a party, and they told me to break a leg, and I broke an arm too, you know. I said, look, this accident was expensive. It costed me an arm and a leg. That's what happened. I said, y'all, don't go pulling my legs. I don't have much options, you know. And don't ask me to put my best foot forward either. I'm kind of limited at this point in time. And they were laughing and crying on. And it's amazing, boy. Humor helps you to refocus your mind. Because your mindset, how you think about issues, gives you access to light or darkness. To light or darkness. You know, you could be in a situation and you look at it like, you know, the worst to ever happen to a human being has happened to me. And all of a sudden your mind is filled with darkness and hopelessness and discouragement. But in that same situation, you can be looking at the situation and say, no matter how hard it is, how bad it gets, by the grace of God, I'll come back. I'll still make it. Because look, man, if you land on your back, the fact that you can look up means you can still get up, you know? And when you begin to talk like that, then even though your circumstance might not change, you begin to change. You start to feel hope and encouragement. That's how you feel. Yeah, so that's what humor does. It helps you to stop ruminating and become depressed, and it helps you access the light and the life of the loving Lord. That's what it does. It's your mindset, right? So I'm in the hospital, and it's amazing. When you stop to begin to minister to other people, you see that, you know, your life ain't that bad. So I had a broken arm and a broken leg, and it's funny, this bone was broken, it's called the humerus. I'm like, I can't be funny anymore. My funny bone got broken. But look, there's a guy lying next to me. Guy couldn't speak any English, you know. He was being chased by some robbers, ran across a freeway in desperation and got both legs broken, plus suffered head injuries. I'm like, man, this is messed up, and he's in a strange country. So I started trying to teach him English. He didn't tell me where he's from. He said, I'm Martian, from Mars. So I started teaching him English. He said he spoke Martianese. Let me tell you, man, Professor Dex was at his best. I taught this guy to speak English. First he was like, I said, hello. He's like, hello. I'm like, how are you? He's like, how are you? You know, I'm teaching him to speak English. I taught him to speak English so good. One morning he woke up, he was yawning in English. That's how good I was, but he was still sneezing in Martianese. Hey, wasn't good. But let me tell you, so I decided, okay, I was on crutches, blind man on crutches. No, first in a wheelchair for a couple of weeks. I spent 6 weeks in the hospital. Then, a few weeks in a wheelchair, or 2 months on crutches. And then finally, I started to travel again by myself. I used to just hire taxi cabs to take me to and from or whatever. So I said, no, man, you need the courage. You're going to get broke real quick just hiring taxi cabs. So I said, I'm going to go travel again. So I hopped into one of these mini buses in the islands. And this guy was just, pulling brakes and jumping over speed bumps. And every time I shook up, I heard these like demons, trying to speak in my head saying, we're going to kill you this time. And it almost paralyzed me, filled me with fear. Let me tell you, family, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is forging ahead in spite of your fears. Did you get that? Yeah, courage is showing up, even though you don't even know what the results are going to be. Yeah, but you need courage to live. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to allow myself to be paralyzed. I prayed through that because I realized if I got paralyzed, it would crush my life. I'll be very dependent on people. So I said, I'm going to fight this one through. So when I was coming back, I went to the city, and when I was coming back, I said, I'm going to take a taxi this time. And I hopped into this taxi, and it was just me alone, right? He didn't tell me to small up myself. Just me alone in the taxi. And the dude was speeding. Speeding means driving fast. Speeding. I mean, he was breaking traffic lights, overtaking people around corners. Good grief. And my heart is in my chest, almost in my mouth. It kind of reminded me of the taxi driver and the preacher that got to heaven. And St. Peter met them at the gate. By the way, this is a story, so don't go telling people I believe in St. Peter, standing by some gate in heaven. So St. Peter said, taxi guy, you come on in. Preacher, no, you can't make it. The preacher's like, what's up with that? What's up with that, St. Pete? We don't roll like that, dude. What's up with that? Well, St. Pete said, no, you see what happened? While you were doing your work preaching, people were sleeping. When he was doing his work driving, they were praying. This dude that was driving me, I was praying. You hear me? Taking over cars, braking lights, wrong bends, speeding, not even indicating. I'm like, Lord Jesus, have mercy. And finally, he started speaking to me. He's like, my brother, I realize you're blind. I'm like, yeah, I'm born legally blind. He said, man, don't feel bad about that, man. He said, I only see out of one eye. Yeah. I'm totally blind in the other eye. He said, in fact, I didn't even get my license. I bought my license. Speeding! Man, I said, driver, this is actually my stop. Not up the road. Just drop me off right here. So right here, my brother. Just, please, just right here. Please, whatever you do, right here. Right here. Let me tell you, it takes courage to live. You hear me? It takes courage. But you have to forge ahead. That's what courage is. And all of us have what it takes to be courageous. I realize that all of us already possess and practice what it takes to be successful. But a lot of times we use it negatively. So people ask me all the time, Dex, how do you make it? You're born blind, you got knocked down by a car, you've suffered setbacks. How do you make it? I said, let me just be honest with you. It's not motivational speaking that did it. No, it's not that I have this indomitable spirit that would come back against adversities. No. You know really how I make it? I've been connected with a God that is bigger than any of my obstacles. Amen. A long time ago, I stopped telling God how big my problems are. I now tell my problems how big my God is. Yeah. That's how I make it. And let me tell you why I'm sharing this with you tonight as we wrap up. It's because I love making people laugh. I just love it. When I see the joy on your faces, that's a joke. Yeah, but I love making people laugh, right? But I want to do more than make you laugh. I want to give you joy. And joy is deeper than laughter. You see what happens? Joy happens whether you're feeling good you're in a good place in life, your finances ain't right, you still have joy. Why? How do you get joy? You get joy when you're connected with the joy giver. By the way, his name is Jesus. And so what I want to do in all my evenings of humor, my comedy events, I want to link people's lives to the loving Lord through laughter. I want you to experience the joy of Jesus. So I love being positive because, man, I don't like negativity. Some people are so negative, you put them in a dark room, they'll develop. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want that. No, I don't want that. I want to be positive. I want to be positive. But I want to be more than positive. I want to be joyful. So I challenge you tonight. I don't know where you are in your life. I don't know if you've been experiencing joy. I don't know if you've been walking through life gloomy. You know, you heard a blind guy tonight telling you you can get joy. And I want to pray for us before we wrap up. Let's stand and pray, everybody. Let's stand and pray and give God thanks for a wonderful evening. You guys had a good time? Yeah. Were you guys inspired? Yeah. Amen. Let's pray together. God, thank you so much that you offer more than laughter, but you offer joy. And I pray everyone here tonight that they would have a deep desire to leave this place yearning and making up their mind to connect with the joy giver, that's Jesus. And God, sometimes our life is so empty, and we've tried filling it with all sort of stuff, entertainment, relationships. But Father, that void can only be created through our Creator. May we connect with you on a deeper level tonight. Even as we begin 2019, we're a month in, God. Let's not continue this year like we did last year. We want you, God. So bless us and bless our South Orlando Church and our Pathfinder Club. Bless Pastor Alex and the leadership. And Father, give us joy in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen.